The first time, you think it is bad luck. Just bad luck. Wrong place, wrong time, the kind of thing that happens once and becomes a story you tell at dinner parties for the rest of your life. You are 31 years old. You have been saving for 4 years, not aggressively, not with a spreadsheet and a financial advisor, the way normal people save, which is to say imperfectly and slowly and with several setbacks involving a transmission replacement and a medical bill and one regrettable weekend in Atlantic City. But you saved 4 years. And on a Tuesday in March, you walk into a dealership in Queens and you buy a 2009 Honda Accord in a color the salesman calls alabaster silver and you call white. And it does not matter because it is yours. 42 payments remaining. $312 a month. Yours. You drive it home. You park it on the street outside your apartment because your building does not have a garage, and the nearest parking structure is 8 blocks away and costs more per month than the car payment. You park it on the street. You go upstairs. You make dinner. At approximately 9:47 p.m., a man in a red and blue suit swings past your window at considerable speed, pursued by something you will later see described on the news as an enhanced individual, and your car is used as a projectile. Not damaged, not clipped. Used as a projectile. The insurance claim takes 11 weeks. The adjuster uses a word you have never heard before, superpowered incident exclusion clause. You read your policy for the first time. It is there. Page 47, paragraph 9. A font size that requires assistance. The insurance company does not pay. The city does not pay. The man in the red and blue suit does not pay because nobody knows who he is, and also he is a minor, and also his aunt cannot be held liable for his extracurricular activities under current New York State tort law, which you learn from an attorney who charges you $300 to tell you this over the phone. You are out one Honda Accord, alabaster silver, 39 remaining payments, and $300. You take the bus for 8 months. You tell yourself, once is bad luck. The second time happens to your apartment. Not your car this time. Your apartment. You have moved to a building in Brooklyn because the rent is lower and the commute is manageable and the neighborhood is. Your real estate agent assures you with the specific confidence of someone who has said this phrase many times, up and coming. You are on a 12-month lease with an option to renew. You have been there 4 months. You have repainted the kitchen. You have assembled the IKEA shelving unit that took 6 hours and a YouTube tutorial and one emotional phone call to your mother. You have a place. Then the Avengers fight someone on the bridge 3 blocks away. You will see the footage later. It is very dramatic. There is a man in a metal suit and a man with a hammer and something large and green that you will spend several weeks trying to process emotionally. What you see in real time is your building shaking for 40 seconds and then the ceiling of your apartment coming down in sections, and the IKEA shelving unit, which you did not fully complete according to the instructions because the instructions were diagrams and the diagrams were ambiguous, collapsing completely. You are not hurt. This is the thing people keep telling you as if it should make the other things feel smaller. You are not hurt. You are also not in your apartment anymore because your apartment has a hole in the wall the size of a refrigerator, and it is raining inside. You file a claim. You call the city. You call a hotline that has been set up specifically for incident-related property damage, which you are mildly comforted by until you learn that the hotline's primary function is to tell you to submit a form and wait. You submit the form. You wait. The waiting period is 120 days, during which time you are in a temporary housing arrangement that costs you $1,100 a month because Brooklyn, even the up-and-coming parts, does not have affordable temporary housing. The eventual settlement covers 60% of damages. The IKEA shelving unit is not covered because it was, according to the assessor, improperly assembled and therefore structurally compromised prior to the incident. You want to argue this point. You do not have the energy to argue this point. You take the 60%. You tell yourself twice is very bad luck. The third time is the car again. Different car. You bought a used Civic this time because the Honda Accord experience has made you cautious about emotional investment in vehicles. The Civic is practical. The Civic is sensible. The Civic has minor cosmetic damage on the rear bumper from the previous owner, which actually comforts you because it means you do not have to be precious about it. You love the Civic in the specific way you love things you have stopped expecting to keep. You are at a red light on Fifth Avenue on a Wednesday afternoon. There is nothing unusual about the day. There is no reason to anticipate anything. Then, the sky opens up. Not metaphorically. The sky opens up because apparently there is a portal situation happening above Midtown and things are coming through the portal and the Avengers are addressing the things coming through the portal. And one of the addresses involves something being redirected from a trajectory that would have hit a school bus and instead hits your car. This time the car is not a projectile. This time the car is simply beneath something very heavy that lands on it from a height of approximately 40 feet. The car is flat, not damaged, flat. A geometry that a car should not be capable of achieving. You are on the sidewalk because the light was red and you were in the car and then the sky made a sound? And some instinct from the previous two incidents that your nervous system has apparently been cataloging propelled you out of the vehicle and onto the pavement approximately 4 seconds before impact. You stand on Fifth Avenue and you look at your car, which is now a shape. Not a car shape, just a shape. The man in the metal suit flies overhead. He appears to be winning. This is, you understand, supposed to be good news. You pull out your phone. You do not call the insurance company. You already know what the insurance company will say. Page 47, paragraph 9. Call your mother. Do not say anything when she picks up. She has received enough calls from you over the past 3 years to understand the silence. She says, again. You say, again. She says she will call your uncle, who is a contractor, and ask about the going rate for emotional damages. Uncle is not that kind of contractor. Do not explain this. You just stand on the Fifth Avenue next to the shape that used to be your Civic and watch a man with a hammer land on a building 40 feet away and feel the specific emotion that exists between rage and exhaustion and has no name in English. The fourth time, you are ready. You have done things. You have read every existing legal precedent on superpowered incident liability. There are not many. The courts are still working out the framework, but there are some. And one attorney in a small office in Hell's Kitchen has been building a class action case for 2 years on behalf of people whose property has been destroyed in Avengers adjacent incidents. Join the class action. You contribute your documentation. You have excellent documentation because after the second incident you started keeping records. Photographs, dates, insurance denials, settlement amounts, out-of-pocket costs. You have a spreadsheet. Have receipts. You have become, through circumstances entirely outside your control, the most organized person you know. You also move, not out of New York. You are from New York. Your family is in New York. You are not going to be driven out of the city you were born in by a sequence of events that you did not choose and cannot predict. But you move to a neighborhood that has not yet been the site of an Avengers incident. You research this. There is a Reddit thread. There are people like you, more than you expected. A whole community of people who have lost cars and apartments and small businesses, and once memorably a food truck, to incidents that the news covers as heroic and the victims experience as a different genre entirely. You find these people comforting, not because their presence solves anything, because there is something important about being in a room, even a digital room, where everyone understands that the story of what happened to you does not have a hero. It just has a person who saved for 4 years and reassembled IKEA furniture and moved to Brooklyn because the rent was lower. A person the city keeps happening to. The class action settles 3 years later. The amount covers approximately 40% of total documented losses across all plaintiffs. This is considered a significant victory. Your attorney calls you with genuine excitement in his voice. He says this sets a precedent. He says this changes things. You say thank you. You cash the check. You buy a car. Not a Honda. Not a Civic. A very used, very ugly 8-year-old Subaru Outback in a color that might once have been green, that you purchase specifically because you cannot imagine anyone, human or enhanced, finding sufficient strategic value in a vehicle of this description to justify using it as a projectile. You drive it home. You park it in the garage 3 blocks away that costs more per month than the car payment. You pay for the garage. You take the stairs to your apartment and you look out the window at the New York skyline and you think about 4 years of saving and the IKEA shelving unit and the shape a car makes when something very heavy lands on it from 40 feet. Phone buzzes. It is the Reddit thread. Someone in Midtown is posting photos. There is something happening near Grand Central. The sky is doing a thing again. Witnesses are reporting a man in a red suit and what appears to be a large purple individual with an unusual relationship to gravity. You look at the notification. You look at the window. You look at the notification. You close the app. You close the blinds. You sit on your couch. Somewhere in this city, something enormous is happening. Somewhere in this city, someone in a remarkable outfit is saving the day. You put on the television. You watch a cooking show. The cooking show does not involve portals or hammers or anything being used as a projectile. The stakes are a souffle. Souffle is in danger of collapsing. You find this extremely stressful. You find it the right amount of stressful. You find it, for the first time in a very long time, exactly the right size. The souffle survives. You go to bed. Outside, the sky is doing a thing. You have decided it is not your sky tonight. Tonight, the sky belongs to someone else. Someone with a suit or a hammer or an unusual relationship to gravity. Someone whose job it is to save the day. Your job is smaller. Your job is to wake up tomorrow, buy groceries, make the car payment, keep the receipts. You are very good at your job. The story is inspired by the world of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but the question underneath it is not fictional. Every major event, every war, every disaster, every revolution that history remembers as heroic was experienced by the people in the middle of it as an interruption to a life they were trying to build. The names we remember are the ones who won the battle. The ones who lost the car are just the setting. They do not get a credit sequence. They get a claim form and a wait time of 120 days. If this one stayed with you, drop a comment. Subscribe. The next story is already waiting.